Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of our Tales from Tech Support. In today's episode, taking over for bad IT, yes, another one. Well, there's your problem. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. Taking over for bad IT, yes, another one. Hello boys and girls, Uncle Bam Bam 67 here to tell you another tale of the aftermath of bad IT support. I know most of the stories posted here are about users, but we have to recognize some of the bad apples in IT as well. I've been fortunate, or unfortunate, to take over for a few bad IT folks. This is around the early 2000s. I had been doing contract IT work for about 3 months and not liking it. I posted my resume on Craigslist. Yes, I've received many calls and jobs from posting on CL back in the day, and the next day I get a call. A medical manufacturing company 1.5-hour drive away needed an IT manager/desktop support all in one. I'm hesitant because of the commute, but agree to meet with a promise of a free lunch. I meet with the CFO and have this conversation. CFO, so, what do you think? Will you give us a chance? Me, it is a bit of a drive. CFO, I'll make it worth your while. As a startup company, I have the power to offer you stock options and a bonus. Not to mention our benefits package and 401k. Me, let me go home and talk to my wife about this. Now, you may know already, but getting stock options are great to get on top of your salary. This company later sold, and I'm still reaping the benefits. So as you can guess, I said yes, and I start my daily 3-hour commute. It wasn't until my first day that I realized something was horribly wrong with the former IT guy. Let me set the scene. HR, who was great at this company, shows me the office, and I notice every cubicle is full. She takes me to the server room that had probably the loudest cooling fans I'd ever heard. Just inside the server room is a desk. HR, for right now, this will be your desk. I'm hoping to get some more cubes built for more new hires and yourself. Me, I appreciate that. I'll be hearing the fans in my sleep. And I did. HR, okay, I'll leave you to it. HR leaves and I settle into my desk, check out the servers I have, and start taking inventory. Then a strange occurrence. I see part of someone's head poke through the door. Me, hello? Can I help you? User, I am so sorry. I can come back later if you're busy. They cringe in the doorway while apologizing. Me, no. I'm Bam Bam 67, how can I help you? User, well, hesitantly, my Outlook is having trouble. You can look at it anytime you want. I don't mean to bother you. I kid you not. User looked like a scared little kitten. As if they were waiting for me to lash out. Instead. Me, let's go take a look at it right now. User, are you sure? Me, I'm pretty sure that's why they hired me. Let's go. As I helped the user, they told me a strange tale of the former bad IT guy. Bad IT, BIT, was sent by a third-party IT agency that helped monitor their IT systems. BIT came 2 to 3 times a week to help with all types of issues. He seemed very competent and he was offered a job of IT manager. He quickly became an IT tyrant. He despised helping users and became combative with the engineering group. I was told stories of shouting matches on the main floor between BIT and senior engineer, Southeast. Me, who is the SE? User, he sits in the cube in front of the rest of his group. He can be a little grumpy. I was done fixing user's issue, and I make a beeline to SE. I stand calmly outside his cube. Me, excuse me, sorry to interrupt, but are you SE? SE, yes, I am. Me, I'm Bam Bam 67, the new IT guy. SE. His mood went from stale to crusty. Me, look, I heard you had an issue with the last IT guy. Let me assure you, I'm here to help you. Whatever you need, let me know. SE, alright, thanks. Wait, I need a new mouse. Me, standard or ergonomic? SE, ergonomic, if possible, my wrist. Me, got it, let me talk to HR about our purchasing procedure, and I'll get right on it. SE, okay, seemingly surprised, thanks. HR and I took a shopping trip at lunch. We had a Fry's Electronic in our office complex, Western theme. Before SE came back from lunch that same day, his new mouse was set up and ready to go. A couple weeks pass, and I'm still getting users hesitant to ask for help until this happened. I received an email from SE that he's leaving office for a while and asks if I could update his graphics driver. He leaves and I walk up to his desk. It was like being a stranger in an Old West movie, the townsfolk all staring at me as I walk down Main Street, engineering cubicle row, and go about my job. Engineer, does SE know you're on his machine? Me, yes sir. I'm helping him out with an update. Really? SE asked you? Me, yep. I continued downloading the update and then finally installing it. It took longer than expected. As I'm wrapping up with a reboot, SE walks back in and makes a beeline for me in his cube. I'm in his chair as he's peering over the side of his cube. SE, how'd it go? Me, slower than I thought, but it installed okay, hopefully that makes a difference with SolidWorks. SE, thank you so much BamBam67. Loudly so all his fellow engineers couldn't help but hear. I walked away feeling like I broke the IT curse. I was busier than ever working on every computer in the building. No one was ever turned away or yelled at. It was one of the best companies I've worked for from the leadership on down. 8 years later we were bought by the evil Empire J&J, and that, my fellow IT friends, is a whole different story. Update, wow really? Thank you so much for all the upvotes, comments and awards. I did not expect this at all from this story. I do have a follow-up story, we'll post that soon. Update to the update, I will post my next chapter tomorrow morning. The next chapter, buyout. Well, there's your problem. I was working as a minion in a big law firm when I met you. No, wait. I was working for a law firm back in the very early 2000s, and it was based in a typical old London office. It was a series of old houses or small businesses that had been knocked through, and some external entrances bricked up to form one building. Way too many staircases for an office, and doors leading through to other rooms at weird places and at different levels. The power and networking management was a mess. The whole firm and all the departments to support the real employees who did all the legals and paid for all us hanger-ons were in this building. The server room was a small room in the basement of the building, next to the reprographics room. It was small, about 10 foot square, yet still on 2 levels, and had a PC there for accessing anything you couldn't do on a server, plus about 10 racks of servers. This was early 2000s, so a normal rack server took up about 4U. Add a KVM and a UPS, and you only got 2 or 3 in a rack. And they were loud. Around lunchtime one day several services stopped responding. People outside IT panic at big issues, but if you've worked there any while you learn that the big ones give you way more clues and are generally easier to solve. This was pretty much everything, so you start narrowing it down pretty quickly. Server died? Too many services are affected. The chances of that many servers dying at the same time is too low, and from knowledge of the server room some already knew they weren't even positioned close to each other. Power? We're in the same building and we're okay, unlikely. Also, it's not everything, so not that. Network? Well, everything in that server room probably only uses 1 or 2 switches to communicate with the rest of the building. Maybe they used the same power strip and that died? Or someone uploaded a bad config to both of them, but no one is down there right now. The lead guy in networking headed down there. He wasn't the networking manager, but he was the highest up person who deserved a salary, so best person for the job. On entering the room the problem was quickly apparent. someone had stolen the hot swap hard drives from 3 servers. They stole all of the drives from the documents, email, and HR server drives. The documents and email servers had 36 gigabits drives, and the HR server had 18 gigabits drives. At the time, 36 gigabits server drives were expensive, and we didn't have anything bigger in that server room. You could think they just grabbed the highest capacity for the highest value. Except that in the server rack right next to the document server was the accounts server, which had 36 gigabits, albeit fewer of them. This was clearly not a random theft, and what a gutsy one to do it in the middle of the working day. I never heard any fallout from it though. You had to think someone was after something in particular, but there was never an incident you could point to and say, and you know how they know that, don't ya?